spring or actually winter type conditions at times outside here in Milwaukee, but they've got a roof, so we are indoors this weekend. The Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers open up a 4-game series here at Miller Park. Welcome to Cubs baseball. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. Cubs with a couple of days off. The rain out Tuesday, off day yesterday. John Lester will pitch tonight for the Cubs. And if we go back to last year, JD, it was the Brewers' division to lose or to win, and the Cubs just grabbed it away in the second half.
Yeah, Cubs, as everybody knows, got off to that sluggish start and really kicked it in the second half. You see the Brewers at the All-Star break had a 5.5-game lead on both the Cubs and the Cardinals. Cubs played the best baseball of anybody in the National League in the second half. It's not that the Brewers necessarily cratered, but the Cubs really hit their stride in the second half.
So with the off days, this time through the rotation through Monday, everybody's going to pitch on 2 days of extra rest.
Yeah, it's been a week since John Lester has taken the mound. He struggled in that first start against the Marlins. 3 1/3, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Just didn't have a lot of finish on his pitches. He did not face the Brewers at all last year. He's been good against them in his career. Brent Suter is a crafty left-hander. He'll be making his second start. He picked up a win Saturday in San Diego.
So lefty night here in Milwaukee. Lester for the Cubs, Suter for the Brewers. This should be a fun season series, to say the least. It's the Cubs and the Brew Crew coming up next.
Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Miller Park with your Miller Lite game report. Cubs and Brewers going to play each other 19 times this season. That's 6 different series. And yet this first one, a 4-game set, the first weekend of April, has a special buzz about it. We saw a lot of it last September. Both of these teams really good. The fan base is getting into it. And even Anthony Rizzo commenting on what it's going to be like to play here in Milwaukee this weekend.
Well, you have two teams that are with high aspirations. They're expecting to win division, and we're expecting to win division. So, and you have the Cardinals also who are expecting to win. So, obviously it's very early, 4 games, and on either end, it's not going to be the end of the world. But it's fun to play them. It's fun to play up here. I enjoy this stadium. We enjoy the stadium. So it'll be a good weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun this weekend. Cubs fans, plenty of them finding tickets and finding their way up to Milwaukee to cheer on their Cubbies in another fun opening weekend. We'll be right back with Lynn and JD in the call after this.
That night.
Brewers afield. Lineup thusly. Ryan Braun plays left field tonight. Lorenzo Cain, he's one of their newbies. Actually, he started here, but he's back, and he's in center field, and he's really good. Domingo Santana has a big arm out there in right field. Shaw Arcia Perez, he plays all over. As a matter of fact, he's played everywhere except for catcher as a major leaguer. Aguilar gets the assignment at first base tonight. Jet Bandy is the catcher. The Brewers made 115 errors last year, most in the National League. They're out there behind this left-hander, our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher, is a fellow by the name of Brent Suter. Sounds like a hockey player, but he's not. He's a pitcher, and performed pretty admirably for the Brewers last year. A 3.42 ERA, making 14 starts and 8 relief appearances. He works extremely quickly, throws strikes, does not throw hard at all.
And he works quickly. And we are underway. That was a curveball to Ian Happ, and the leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Happ gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
It's a little natural cutting action on his fastball, and he's deceptive. You think a guy throws 86, 87 wouldn't use his fastball that much, but Suter does. He's not afraid to challenge guys up in the strike zone with it. He's got some funk.
.64 degrees here inside. It's 40 degrees outside. Swing and a miss. He chased one for out number one. 20-year veteran Brian O'Nora will call balls and strikes. He's back of the plate. Chad Whitson at first, Chris Conroy at second, and Fielden Culbreth, the crew chief, is over at third. Cubs went 7-3 in this ballpark last year. 5 of those games went to extra innings. And the Cubs went to 3-2 in those particular contests.
Strong pull on the infield for Zobrist. They keep 2 on the right side of the infield, but Arcia, the shortstop, way in the hole. And if you see a spray chart for Ben Zobrist, you would say, okay, I get it.
So switch hitters to start this thing, Happ and Zobrist. Low for a ball, and it's 2-1.
Good example of the cutting action on the fastball I was talking about. He says he doesn't, purposely cut the ball. That's just the way it comes out of his hand.
And bounced foul to third. Brian Butterfield, the Cubs' new third base coach, recently turned 60, but he's got the energy of about a 25-year-old.
Yeah, he's a go. Always bouncing around, very enthusiastic.
There's a base hit. Ben Zobrist is aboard.
They were playing him to pull. He pulled it, but he hit it on a line and sharply through that hole, and he continues to get very good swings from the right side of the plate. I've just seen a lot of left-handed pitching here in the early going, and he's getting a chance to groove that right-handed swing.
Chris Bryant, normally the number 2 hitter, batting third tonight, and Suter will throw over.
Yeah, pretty good pickoff move, if I recall. He's a Harvard man, Suter is. 31st round pick out of Harvard in 2012.
Foul to the screen.
Too bad Kyle Hendricks wasn't pitching tonight, and he would have been had we not been rained out in Cincinnati the other night. We'd had our Ivy League matchup. 2 guys similar MO who don't throw particularly hard but know how to pitch.
In the air, it's deep, and it is caught by Lorenzo Cain on the warning track. Well, it looked like a lazy fly ball, and it carried all the way out to the dirt.
Well, when Long and Strong gets into one, even if it's down towards the end of the bat, sometimes he can fool you. He's so strong, and he gets great extension, and that ball just carries and carries, but not quite far enough.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. 0 for 8 against Suter, and he takes a little low for ball 1.
Suter made a handful of starts a couple of years ago, and as I mentioned, 14 last year. His best ever start came against the Cubs last July. He went 7 shutout.
They've got the shortstop Arcia way out in the right field grass in the shift.
You see Shaw backing off now, 2-0. They would love for Anthony to go ahead and push a bunt in that direction. 2 balls and no strikes.
It's always hard to tell how many Cub fans are in the ballpark when we come to Milwaukee, because both teams' fans wear a lot of blue, but it looks like there's a lot of blue with red trim that I see. And obviously when somebody hits a home run, we'll find out.
And didn't at some point didn't the Brewers stop internet sales to people outside of Wisconsin? I know there was some story to that effect.
I don't know the actual specifics, but I know that you had to have a Wisconsin address, I guess, to buy tickets originally to Cubs Brewers games.
Yeah, the early internet sales. Well, maybe
lots of ways around that, though. You got a cousin who lives in Wausau. Not you, JD. I'm just spitballing a little
hypothetically,
bit. Yeah.
Maybe the Cub fans should wear their road grays when they come up here, and we'd be able to tell.
Popped him up. Bandy looking for some room, and he's got it. Brewers coming up against John Lester when we return to Milwaukee. Starting lineup, Kane in the leadoff spot. No Christian Yelich, at least tonight. He's got an oblique issue, so they put Santana in the 2-hole. Braun playing lefty, normally would be at first against a lefty. Shaw was their MVP last year. Aguilar gets his first start of the year. Hernan Perez can play just about everywhere. He's at second. Arcia is at short. Jet Bandy, the catcher, and Suter, the pitcher, hitting ninth.
Cubs defensively, a little different look in the outfield here tonight as Ian Happ will play left. Albert Almora Jr. will patrol center field, and Ben Zobrist is out there in right. Infield alignment has Rizzo and Baez on the right side, Russell and Bryan on the left side. Wilson Contreras is behind the plate, and he'll be flashing the signs to tonight's Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher, and it's John Lester, 13-8 last year. And he'll get after the Brewers here in the bottom of the first.
And a first pitch strike on Lorenzo Cain.
The numbers from his opening day assignment against the Marlins.
Yeah, he said he didn't throw enough strikes, and he was not happy with his curveball, as he did not get out of the 4th inning and took a no decision in his 7th career opening day assignment.
Didn't have good life, good finish on his fastball, and the other part of it too is fair bit of bad luck in that game. There's a couple misplays behind him, some ground balls that went through the infield for base hits. Only his second career start here in this ballpark.
In the air, back now in is Almora. And he puts it away. Kane off to a sizzling start, even with that out, 9 out of 26. And here comes Domingo Santana, the right fielder. Now we want to welcome those viewers who just watched the Tigers beat the White Sox in the Southsiders home opener, 9-7 in 10 innings. Just getting started here in Milwaukee, and Santana with a fly ball. Almora will make his second consecutive play.
Got a chance to tie big league record here.
He's fielding 1,000 here in the first inning.
John goes east and west really well. The two-seam fastball away, then the cutter down and in on right-handed hitters. Very effective weapons for him. He's already mixed in a couple of changeups. As you mentioned, he felt like he should have thrown that pitch a little bit more in his opening day assignment.
2 dramatic game-winning home runs in the first week for Ryan Braun. One was on the road in San Diego, and the other one 2 nights ago to beat St. Louis.
Yeah, he's only got 3 hits, but 2 of them are game-winning home runs.
Kind of strange that John did not face the Brewers at all last year, considering he played, what, 6 series against them. And he was not originally supposed to face them this week.
In his career, he has faced them 6 times, and he's 3-2 with a 2.77 earned run average against the boys from Milwaukee. Being very cautious here with Braun, trying to pick away at that outside corner. There's a dandy. From John's point of view, anyway, Braun's not buying it. Brian O'Nora. It's good work there. You know, compared to the previous 2, it was right on the plate. He set up the umpire.
Still 2-2 on Braun. Was in left field tonight, but he's becoming a part-time first baseman. And had talked in spring training about not being particularly comfortable over there, although I guess he's looked pretty good there in the early going.
I came up playing the other side of the diamond on the infield. He's got good hands. He's a good enough athlete. I think that the hardest part is just some of the nuanced things you have to do at first base, and cutoffs and things of that nature. Some of the positioning things maybe on bunt plays, and maybe a little bit of a work in progress. But in terms of just picking balls in the dirt and handling ground balls, he should be fine.
Three-2 on the way, misses outside for ball 4. So John will pitch out of the stretch for the first time, and he'll face left-handed batting Travis Shaw, who's hit in all 6 games to start the year.
Aside from the pitcher Suter, he's the lone left-handed bat in the Brewer lineup tonight. His team was 10th in the league in runs scored last year. They hit for a lot of power, tied for first with the Mets and White. Step, step, step.
Braun just stole second base. He just took off and
got everybody unawares. Now he's acting like he wants to go to third. Look and see John's digging in the dirt there, and he just got a walking lead and never stopped. John didn't look up. Nobody yelled.
And the pitch to Shaw. This is outside on a curveball, ball 1. Now Braun's a really good base runner.
Yeah, as I mentioned, they tied the Mets. Step off. There he goes again.
Takes off for third. The throw there. Got him. And
John is just staring him down.
Little smile from Ryan Braun.
That's bad baseball. He's already in scoring position.
Yeah, with 2 outs, where's he going?
Yeah,
of that here after this first pitch to Contreras, unless it's a home run. Nope.
Yeah, so already in scoring position. So a bad play, you know, except maybe, you know, if Shaw's down a couple of strikes in the count.
Shot in the left. Leadoff single for Contreras.
But, you know, so with 2 strikes and with John's throwing issues, maybe you say, I'm going to do it and see if I can get him to make a bad throw and steal a run the cheap way. But, John kind of wise to him, kind of giving him a long glare. Get your hands out of that cookie jar, young man.
Strike on Almora, batting 6th tonight. Contreras is starting on the bag. Looks like he's taking his lead as Suter delivers. Now he's off a couple of steps. Softly hit on the ground, and they'll get 1, and that'll be it. Wilson's got to be a little careful there as he kind of slid through the bag. If Perez had thrown to first, he might have.
Yeah, even though he didn't impact the play, you know, the letter of the law says you have to maintain contact with the base.
And no problem with the slide, but you have to be able to be within arm's length of the bag when you complete your slide. Strike called on a curve to Addison Russell. Cubs shut out in back-to-back games Sunday and Monday. Rained out Tuesday. That game will be made up as part of a split doubleheader in Cincinnati on May 19th, which is a Saturday. And their 2 wins, they've scored 9 runs a game, and their 3 losses, they've scored a third of a run a game. Contreras on his way to third. He's going to get in, and Russell will take second. So base running taking center stage here early, and Ryan Braun with a mistake. As he threw to third, that allowed Russell to move to second, and they stay out of the double play.
Yeah, Braun forcing the issue first with his legs, now trying to make a play that he should not have. That's the beauty of Almora on the bases. Like Contreras has speed, but yeah, that throw's got to come into second base, keep the double play in order.
I think I said Contreras. Yeah, Almora at third, and Russell now at second, and here's Baez with the pitcher Lester on deck. Fouled away, strike 1.
Yes, because I was about to make the point. Boy, you don't see many catchers that can go first to third on that ball.
I don't think there's any question. Wilson would have been at third too. Yep. Scoreless tie, second inning. 0-2 to Baez.
One of the things that made Suter so effective against the Cubs last year in that 7-inning shutout start in particular, but he made 2 starts and was good in both of them. He works really quickly with nobody on base, and he fairly quickly with base runners, but if you put guys on, you take that weapon, that kind of quick pitch, quick tempo away from him a little bit.
I quoted you in the scouting report I have written down for Suter. His best pitch is his tempo. You said that last year.
Yeah,
it's a great line.
Just kept everybody on their heels, and guys were they were caught in between, stepping out, asking for time, and then they'd get back in the box, and he was ready to go as soon as they looked up.
Infield back generally. Baez hit one hard at one of the corner guys they possibly could throw home. This is where you'd like to see him cut down on that 2-strike stroke, especially with Lester on deck. This is the chance here this inning. Well, he's run it full, 3-2.
Yeah. And this is where you have to, as a player, understand the situation too. Base open, unlikely that Suter's going to give in to you here. So you have to keep that same approach. Let the ball travel a little bit.
Now we'll get back to the seats.
Nothing wrong with swinging hard as long as you're swinging at strikes. Change up, he's out in front of it just a little bit. In this situation with the infield back, ground ball just about anywhere gets one home. Almora will be going on contact here.
Toward the middle, base hit. 1 run in. Russell will score. Javier Baez with a 2-run single.
Again, that fastball's cutting in on his hands. He doesn't get the barrel on it, but gets enough of it to nudge it out there into center field to get 2 home. Good work by Baez.
Yeah, I'd say there are a lot of Cub fans here. Off the pitcher and through into center. Perez whipped on it. Now Baez trying to score, and he will score. 3-0. What a wild play.
That baseball's got magic on it. That thing. What was going on? Look at this thing. This is going to elude the pitcher. Gets his hit. Second baseman can't handle it. And then Kane couldn't pick it up cleanly. Baez, he's peeking over his shoulder. He's reading the misplay in the outfield. Butter had given him a stop sign. But once Baez saw Kane do that, he said, I'm going for it.
Well, we'll see how they score that, but Baez scores from first on a ball that barely got into center field.
Yeah, well,
3-0.
Yeah, it was like a fumble. Nobody could pick it up. Baez has such great base running instincts. I mean, in terms of fundamentals, dead wrong, right? Not picking up Butter. He's peeking over his shoulder as he gets to third. Disregarded the stop sign as he rounded third, but he trusts himself, and he's rarely wrong with the decisions he makes on the base paths.
Still waiting on how they're going to score this. There's an error there somewhere.
I would say single and then E8 to allow Javi to score would be my best guess.
Busted bat, and they'll get Lester at second. So Happ will take over for him at first. And they did make the scoring announcement, but I didn't hear it. Sawed him off. And here's Zobrist. He singled in the opening inning. So the Cubs without a run since Saturday put up a 3 spot here in the second inning tonight.
Well, you just can't read this guy's move. If you're going to run, you have to take an aggressive lead and just go on first move and hope that he's going home. Occasionally you'll run into a left-hander who actually has the ability to pick up that front leg and read you before he makes up his mind. More guys claim to have that ability than actually do, but once in a while somebody has that, has the ability and the balance to pull that off. Did they charge 2 errors on that play? Yeah, they gave the second baseman and Kane.
Yeah, I see 2 errors on the board. Zobrist broke his bat, I believe, as that ball is just fouled to third.
Good thing we're not too far from home. Guys can send back for more bats the way this is going. Cut fastball getting in on the hands. It's tough air on Perez at second base. The ball deflecting off the pitcher had all kinds of funky spin on it.
It looked like he was trying to step on the bag and then probably took his eye off the ball. He was. I think he was thinking double play.
Yeah. And off the deflection, with all the spin that's on the ball, probably ought to be happy just to get one there, but that's not the way these guys are wired.
Line drive, DeBron. What a start. So they nail Braun at third as John Lester catches him stealing, and then Javier Baez doing his thing. 3-0 in the second. John Lester now has a 3-0 lead. And he was a part of it as he hit that ground ball that ultimately scored Baez. Shaw was at the plate when Braun was nailed at third in the first. Big year last year for Shaw. And off to a good start this year, looking though for his first home run. This is fouled back out of play. Last year he teamed up with Eric Thames and Domingo Santana to form the second 30-homer trio in team history. The other one 1982, which was a really good year for the Brewers.
Gorman Thomas. Robin Yao.
Nope.
Cecil Cooper.
And I'll tell you where he was from.
Rob Deere.
Panama. It was not Rob Deere. That's a fair ball. Rizzo will step on the bag. Ben Ogilvy.
Oh, Benji Ogilvy. Yeah, well, these guys, as I mentioned in the first inning, they hit a bunch of home runs. They struck out a lot, and didn't walk probably as much as Craig Counsell would like. The addition of Yelich and Kane should help cut down on the strikeouts, put the ball in play. Could make a case that the acquisitions of those two players, they're going to end up being their best two players.
That happened on consecutive days in the offseason. Jesus Aguilar, and Russell not happy that he couldn't get it. Good effort though. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later on in tonight's game. I feel like we've already had a couple. Now Perez playing second base tonight, making just his second start. Not sure how much of Christian Yelich we're going to see this weekend. He's day-to-day with an oblique issue.
I figure those home run numbers will take a pretty good jump in this ballpark for Yelich, and for Kane too, for that matter. Strained oblique for Yelich, and those have a tendency to linger.
Well, we've got extra off days in the schedule this year per the new collective bargaining agreement, so there are going to be probably more situations like this where starting pitchers have, you know, that extra off day. But as we said in the open, it's 2 extra off days for the entire rotation moving forward, and guys tend to be creatures of habit, although I would say in April it's hard to be that, right? Because the schedule can often change with rainouts.
Yeah, and then coming out of spring training where it's a little bit different routine to begin with.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the hook for his first strikeout.
The 2-strike breaking ball buried down below the knees to get the chase from Perez. He doesn't like to walk. He likes to swing it. And Lester taking advantage of that aggressive nature of Hernan Perez. Yeah, I think the key for these pitchers now is just to get a little extra side work in between starts. That's all. Go out and make sure you touch it up on the mound 2 or 3 times between starts. Back in the old days, like even older than me days, guys would throw live BP.
I think even if a pitcher wanted to do that now, his manager or pitching coach wouldn't allow it.
It would depend on the status of the pitcher who requested it.
One strike on budding star Orlando Arcia, just 23 years old. He signed with Milwaukee as a 16-year-old back in 2010.
Yeah, he made 20 errors last year, tied for most among National League shortstops, but he's still a plus defender. He has tremendous range, great hands, and makes sparkling plays. He hits for power and average. He will anyway as he continues to progress.
So we come up with an all U.S. City first name team.
Ooh, I like it.
Orlando Arcia, Houston Street.
Dallas Braden.
Dallas
They
Braden.
have to be active. Yeah.
There you go. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first, 2 outs. Cubs lead 3-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Arcia slams his bat and his helmet down. Cubs have the early lead through 2.
Austin Kearns.
Into the third, Cubs up 3-0. This is your Miller Lite game report. And Ben Zobrist saying he's never been on a team that bounces things off of one another as much as this team had. And he said, rest assured, offensively, these guys are having tough conversations behind closed doors, putting a lot of thought into what is going on the field. And he said, you know, 12 years into the big leagues, guys, I'm still trying to figure out how to have my timing ready at the beginning of the season. Imagine how hard that is for these young guys. So see, they're still trying to click on all cylinders, guys.
Thank you, Kelly. This is a very, very tough game. Basically 100% of the men who play it find it difficult till the day they retire. And then after they retire, they said, I wish I had enjoyed it more.
If I only knew then what I know now. That kind of mindset.
2 strikes on Chris Bryant. And the ground ball. Aguilar's got it, and close, but he beats a headfirst diving Bryant to first.
I'm not sure, but I think Aguilar did a double axel. What's he doing there? Spinning all over the place.
Oh, did he touch the base? Yeah, I think he did.
Probably the most surprised guy in the ballpark that Chris hit the ball in his direction on the ground.
Came up with a few more all-city first names as this ball's in the air. Kane will make the play. Madison, Bumgarner, Gary Sheffield.
Gary, you gotta love Gary. Yeah.
Denver Grigsby was a Cub back in the 20s. Good list.
Denver Pyle was a fine actor. Hey, everybody is in. Rizzo, Brian, Javi, Kyle, and the rest of the boys are getting ready. Training for a shot at October Glory. Be a part of it all season long at Wrigley Field, starting with opening day. Man, it's right around the corner. A limited number of tickets are available for the home opener this Monday. Act quickly before they're gone. Cubs.com.
It's the dumb bits like that that get all of the tweets. It's funny.
That's part of the
charm of baseball.
Is
yeah,
playing the name game.
Strike called on Contreras. Some people ask, do you plan those conversations? And my typical thought is, does it sound like we do?
No, if there was a script, they would rip it up and not let us use it.
How about Addison Russell?
Yeah. Is there City Addison?
Yeah. In Illinois.
I thought it was a street.
Well, it's that
city too. Oh, this is good.
Contreras is 2 for 2 tonight. He keeps the inning alive for Almora.
And a $190 coming in, but pretty good contact in the early going for Contreras. Now it's starting to pay off. 1 to left now. Line drive shot to right. Seattle slew. That was a horse, not a baseball player.
Right.
But
we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching the Cubs tonight on NBC Sports Chicago Plus in Reedland, Iowa, watching on RTC Communications. The I-Cubs with a doubleheader to open their season dropped a 2-1 decision to Oklahoma City in 7 innings and lead OKC 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th in game 2. Down the line, that is a fair ball. Let's see if Contreras can score. Here he comes. He's in. Throw to third. Not in time. 4-0.
2-out action here. Contreras in, Almora combining, and spin on that ball towards the line. My fear was that it was going to bounce up out of play, and Contreras would have been held at third base, but it stays in the ballpark. Contreras scores. Almora with the read, safely into third.
Craig Counsell coming out and chatting with the home plate umpire, Brian O'Nora.
Maybe wanted to make sure that there wasn't any fan interference as that ball kicked up off the rail.
So Almora with his first triple of the year. Russell with a foul strike. We lose sight of the corners from our broadcast position. It's so tight down there. But we have cameras for that. Yeah, that's kind of the look we have.
Brewers won 86 ball games last year. Finished 6 games behind the Cubs, 1 game behind the Rockies for that second wild card spot. Brewers exceeded expectations last season, I think, in the minds of a lot of people, and one of the reasons they did was their starting pitching, their pitching overall, and starters in particular.
5-0. Russell finds the gap. And that's a double. All is happening with 2 outs. And Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, will head out for a visit. They've really struggled with their rotation. Their bullpen's been excellent. They've given up a lot of runs in the early part of ball games so far.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to make. You know, Jimmy Nelson really took a big step forward last year, but he's on the disabled list right now, and I thought for sure they would be a little bit more aggressive this winter in pursuing a starting pitcher. Now, apparently they were in on Arrieta and I think some of the other free agents, but you know, having acquired Kane and Yelich, I thought for sure, you know, they were in go-for-it mode and would have added a veteran pitcher, and you know, they may as things unfold here.
So Baez will be intentionally walked. And that'll bring up Lester. Yeah, their starters came in with an ERA of over 6 in the early going.
4.10 last year, 5th best in the National League.
Fouled away.
Let it eat, big fella. That's a clinic right there, that stroke. Having watched the NCAA basketball tournament, I've decided to use big fella as much as possible.
And you can use it a lot in our game these days. Just about every relief pitcher who comes in. Should I drop a send it in on a home run call?
I think you should.
The Kiss.
Jerome.
5-zip Cubs in the 3rd. Sorry, Bill.
He's the best.
Chicago. Join Ozzie Guy and David DeJesus and Leila Rahimi tomorrow at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago Plus. All Cubs here early, 5-0. As the Brewers will bat here in the third, they'll have Bandy, Suter, and Kane against the big fella. It's contagious. Stephen Vogt is on the disabled list. Right shoulder strain. Bandy making his second start, both times catching Suter. More coincidence than anything else as he fouls off. Manny Pena is their #1 catcher. Lester into his motion, and the 1-1 is hit a ton to left, but he pulled it way foul.
Andy, that upright stance, like he's in pull mode there. And they go out and jerk the ball, and to that end he was successful but couldn't keep it fair.
Bandy gets hit.
On Saturday, April 14th, the Braves are in town. First pitch will be at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a Cubs hooded pullover presented by StubHub. Tickets are still available for this game at Cubs.com. Those hard-hitting Atlantas, they're off to a good start.
Bryant lets it drop. Suter is going to have to hustle to get to first, and he's safe. He was just about ready to toss his batting helmet on the pop-up. And I like that move because now you make the pitcher run the bases, and almost was able to turn a double play.
Yep, that was heads-up play by Bryant. There's really no downside to that play. Back in the day on AstroTurf, you'd be less willing to try it because you got some funky bounces, but he almost got his double play, and yeah, he forces the pitcher to run the bases.
Strike to Kane.
There's an old-time player years ago. His name, they called him Sugar Cane. If Lorenzo has a nickname or not. But.
Well, you know his backstory, right? From high school?
I do not.
So he got cut from the basketball team. And he kind of swore off basketball. He was so angry about it. And that's how he played baseball.
Yeah,
as a sophomore in high school, he'd never played Little League, Pony League, any of that stuff. He didn't even own a glove.
It does ring a little bit of a bell, yeah. So, I mean, he hadn't played it. He had played a little bit of ball somewhere along the line, right?
No, nope, none. So he was just probably what 15, 16 when he first.
That's incredible.
Played baseball in Florida. Ended up being a 17th round pick as a draft and follow, which they don't have anymore. He attended Tallahassee Community College before signing.
You mean he didn't take private lessons? He didn't play on a select team that played 197 games a summer?
No, he didn't. Two is fouled away. So he made his debut at the big league level with Milwaukee in 2010. Then he got traded to Kansas City. 7 years with the Royals. ALCS MVP in 2014. An All-Star the following year, and then this past winter signed a big 5-year contract.
He's 31 years of age.
Full count on him.
These are the position players for the Brewers. You're in that sweet spot of their careers, you know, mid to late 20s, still in their primes. Kane signed through 2022, as is Christian Yelich.
Call, strike 3. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Santana swings and misses. Some people wondered if he might get traded because they needed starting pitching. Hard to give up on the power and patience combo, though. He put up an .875 OPS last year in his first full injury-free campaign.
Hey, he's only 25. And thought of as a very promising prospect, first in the Phillies organization, then with the Astros.
He strikes out looking. Nice work by John Lester. He's struck out 4 over the last 2 innings and has a comfortable 5-0 lead. Work for streaming baseball because your stadium should be where you make it. Great to have you with us tonight. We'll be here this weekend and then back home for the Wrigley Field opener on Monday afternoon. This is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Will be Tyler Chatwood making that start on opening day at Wrigley.
Pirates have a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th, hosting the Reds. Pirates off to a 4-1 start. 1-1 on Ian Happ.
Brian Ornora, the home plate umpire, has shown a willingness to call that pitch down and on the edges tonight.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Is that sign right behind Ian Happ telling us that Eric Thames is going to commit an error in a couple of weeks?
Thames bobble.
I assume they mean bobblehead.
We're going to check the box score on April 23rd and see what took place here.
Suter is the kind of guy who can throw like 145 pitches and make it look like 70 because he works so fast. He struck him out. So Brian O'Nora working on his strike 3 call here quite a bit lately.
Not afraid to ring you up.
I mean, if you were a big league umpire, wouldn't around February 20th or so in the mirror you got to do your strike 3 call just to make sure you're you're in game shape, right?
And as you work your way up through the ranks, you'd be trying to polish that up a little bit. Your own distinctive strike 3 call.
The 0-1 on Zobrist. Too low. Lined and caught. Hit it right at Aguilar. So Zobrist has singled and lined out twice.
Continues to find the backside of the baseball. The Cubs announced a new online ticket purchase opportunity to expand access for fans interested in buying Cubs tickets at an affordable price. The team will now offer 60 tickets located in the lower level terrace for just $10 for every regular season home game. Fans can register online for the opportunity to purchase up to 4 tickets. Don't hit that pitch. Registration opens 48 hours before the game and closes 24 hours prior to the scheduled first pitch. There is no fee to enter. Cubs.com/1060 tickets. That's a sweetheart of a deal, folks. I encourage you to go online and jump on.
1-1 to Bryant. Hooked into left for a base hit. That is his 500th major league hit. And the Cubs will ask for the baseball. Suter actually has the ball now. Alerted the Cubs dugout, so I have a feeling he'll have a few more of those mementos before it's all said and done. Can you
end up with 500 long ones?
Yeah. I was going to ask you to explain the authentication process, but we don't have time.
Good. Because I would have failed that test.
5-0 Cubs in the 4th. Brooklyn Nets. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Bulls pregame live, or stream the game live on the NBC Sports app. JD, we saw both those teams in our team hotel in Miami on consecutive nights last week.
The Bulls.
And then the Nets.
And then the Nets came out. I didn't see any Nets. I heard they were there.
They were looking for you. Chris Bryant with his 500th career hit.
Were there any big fellas?
There are a lot of them, yeah. Braun fouls away. So there's the authentication process to put a sticker on it.
And then he must log it in that book. Item 177B/312. Chris Bryant's 500th career hit. Big John, 90-91 here tonight. And to start Miami, it was more like, a lot of 88s. Didn't quite have the finish. Looks better tonight. Results are better, that's for sure.
Right, so when you hear the word finish, when you hear the word life, you're not necessarily talking about a raw number. What do you mean?
Yeah, just as the ball gets into the hitting zone, it just got a little extra carry or a little more bite on the sinker. Instead of tumbling, it has sharper action.
Charged by Russell, pops his mitt and gets Braun.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify. I'm sure, the way they study spin right now on everything, they probably could tell a guy's two-seamer on certain nights has got a little more spin on it, a little more, what we would call life.
John gets locked in on game day, and you could tell he really wanted to pitch tonight. It had been a while. Past the mound, but Russell's got it. And he'll get Shaw. And he was pacing around the clubhouse a lot today. You could tell, antsy to make this start.
The Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift for parents of new Cubs to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a photo from a custom birth announcement on the Wrigley Field marquee, Cubs birth certificate, pinstripe baby cap, and Rookie of the Year Cubs onesie. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information. Yeah, that's the hardest part about being a starting pitcher. Everybody else, all the position players, the bullpen guys, they know they're going to be out there, if not the very next day after a rough outing, certainly within the next couple of days. Starting pitchers have to wait their turn. It's usually 5 days. This time it was a week before John could get back out there.
Oh, 1 to Aguilar. And over the top of a cutter. Well, he's honest. I like that old school look from behind home plate. And that's going to roll for a while. Aguilar is the only Brewer with any hits, and now he's got 2. That's a double.
And with Yelich being unavailable tonight, Braun getting the start in the outfield, they turned to Aguilar at first base, and this is what they did most of last year against left-handed pitching. He was really good against southpaws, and it's a good approach there. If you're paying attention to this game, you see where John's commanding that outside part of the plate, and he likes to go there to try to finish off hitters. Aguilar, wise to it, hit that outside fastball the other way.
Perez fouls away. So based on the forecast the rest of the weekend, I'm guessing the roof and the panels will be closed. That is not a bold prediction. The high tomorrow here in Milwaukee about 33, 35 Saturday, 35 Sunday. That is not baseball weather. They can heat this ballpark up to 30 degrees above what the outside temperature is. So
It's
64 at game time. Yeah. Swing and a miss. I was talking with somebody before the game who said, I heard somebody say recently the MVP of Milwaukee baseball, Milwaukee Brewers baseball, is the roof. And they believe without this ballpark, there would not be a big league team here.
You're going to say Phil Roof.
I think Charlotte was in the mix before they got this place built.
Oh yeah,
Here of a place where you might move. The Giants was St. Petersburg. The White Sox was St. Petersburg.
Yeah, there was a time there before the last expansion when you heard Buffalo, you heard Charlotte. It was the position of the Players Association way back in the day that the best market for expansion was the New York metro area for a third club.
Right. Seelig, the first owner of the Brewers.
Yeah, the anniversary of him moving the team from Seattle to here just passed a couple of days ago.
Right, so the end of spring training, they moved to Milwaukee. In the air to deep center. Almora just onto the warning track. Through 4. Lester shutting them out on 2 hits. Cubs lead 5-0. Due to the weather forecast in Des Moines. Strike 1 on Wilson Contreras. No 1-1. He's 2 for 2. Both hits have been singles. Good 1-2.
Shaking his head as if he feel like he has a hole in his bat swinging through those 2 pitches that he's missed in this plate appearance. So it speaks to the deceptive nature of Suter. There's 2 pitches right in the middle of the strike zone at 86 miles per hour, and Wilson swung right through him. Good take.
Yeah. I mentioned Suter graduated from Harvard. in environmental science and public policy. He's from Cincinnati, attended Moeller High School.
Born in Chicago.
Yeah. His father, Mike, was a really good football player. Won a high school national title with Moeller in 1979, and then a national title with Penn State in 1982. Ball 4.
His mom was a college swimmer too. Good gene pool.
Yep. Shirley.
Absolutely.
No, that's her name. Here's Almora with a man on, nobody out. They need some length out of Suter if they can get it. Contreras. Takes second. Strike one on Almora. Brandon Woodruff is scheduled to pitch tomorrow night. He's already pitched out of their bullpen. Pass ball charged to Bandy. Oh, 2.
Well, he got a comfortable lead, but so opportunity here for Almora, if nothing else, to advance. Contreras choke up, emphasize contact. Not that kind of contact.
Perez has it.
Cubs destinations travel packages include tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. This season's trips to Chicago include matchups against the Cardinals, Nationals, and Reds. For more information, visit Cubs.com/destinations.
Russell, 2 hits tonight. Off to an excellent start all the way around.
Good aggressive swing. That's just a tough pitch there. That pitch elevated. Have to get on top of.
Mainly been a 6-hitter. He's batting 7th tonight. Once hit cleanup. But Joe is certainly willing to make changes throughout the course of the season, and just because you start 6th or 7th in the lineup doesn't mean you'll end up that way. Swing and a miss. So that's out number 2. And that's just the, let's see, 4th strikeout for Suter. Baez will be walked again intentionally. 3rd time he's reached. Hit of the game had to be that 2-run single by Baez to get the Cubs on the board in the 2nd after they had been shut out in consecutive games, and then his base running in a play that included 2 errors. He scored all the way from first.
take your eyes off Baez when he's on the baseball field. He's the most exciting player in the game for my money.
Well, if you were to ask Craig Counsell after what happened in the second, I mean, it's an easy change now, but would you go back and intentionally walk Baez to face Lester with the bases loaded in the second?
Yeah, it's, you know, especially with, even though it's a lefty, Javi still strikes out a lot. As a pitcher, I would prefer to pitch to the 8-hole hitter, and if I got into an unfavorable count, work out of the zone, see if I could get him to chase to try to drive him.
And that's what he did.
Yeah,
he got him down in the count, and then Baez worked a full count. Strike 3 called. Cubs strand 2, halfway home, 5-0. Contenders in the National League Central. Mentioned that last year the Cubs played 10 games in this ballpark. Half those games went to extra innings. Cubs have won 18 of their last 26 here at Miller Park.
Yeah, it was weird. Cubs won the season series 10-9 last year. Brewers better at Wrigley. Cubs better here. We mentioned in our open the Brewers had the lead at the All-Star break. They were in first place for 69 days last season. Just the wrong ones.
Inside on Arcia.
Cubs took charge with that road trip out of the break. Baltimore and Atlanta. Brewers were enduring a 6-game losing streak. It's not like the Brewers cratered. They played winning baseball in August and September. 3-4 games above 500 during that stretch. That was a big key to it.
The Cubs got Quintana and the Brewers did not. And obviously it made sense for the Cubs to go out and get him, not only for last year but moving forward, with Arrieta moving on via free agency and John Lackey, at least for now, appearing to possibly retiring, but he would have fit in well with the Brewers too. Russell's got to charge it. Dug out by Rizzo. Nicely done on both ends to get Arcia.
Yeah, speedy guy going down the line. So Russell's got to charge it. Look how he presents that glove. He has it out in front of him, but it's a little wobbly popping out of his mitt. Probably didn't get the best of grips on that ball, but there's no time to reset with a speedy guy going down the line, so he just slings it on over there, and the big fella with the pick.
Foul to left.
Ooh. Event security almost took one in the lips there. We should buy him a mitt. Yeah. He's trying to play the angle. The fork's a little sloppy. At least he didn't get coconutted with that one.
I suppose this would be a better question for a front office person, but I wonder the calculus of a mid-season acquisition in terms of getting a guy who your competitors trying to get, right? So you're trying to find the best fit for your team, but also understanding, hey, if we don't get him, they might.
Yeah, well, I think the Cubs need the fact that he might go to a competitor within the division. I'm speaking about Quintana specifically, and the contract where they had control for another 3 years. That's why the price tag was so high. That's why Eloy Jimenez and others went in that deal. And
Jonathan VR on deck to bat for the pitcher Suter.
Joe needs a cup of Joe. See Contreras nodding his head back there. Lester making that pitch exactly to the spot. Had good command down and away with both the fastball and the changeup, and that's awfully tough coming out of the hand. Tough read for the hitter.
Way up in the air to left. That's Ian Happ. Two Brewers retired here in the 5th.
On Sunday, April 15th, join the Cubs for their annual Youth Baseball and Softball Appreciation Day. All participants that purchase tickets through the Community Nights page receive a pair of Cubs Youth Stirrup Socks. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/communitynights.
Here comes switch hitting Jonathan VR to bat for Suter, who went 5 innings, allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. Walked 3, struck out 5. Swing and a miss.
Our switch hitter, pretty good from both sides. Struggled last year, especially early. A couple years ago, he had a big year, and he's a real key for them. I'm not sure how much, how Fred Counsell's going to apportion the playing time, but if he can bounce back and have the year he had a couple seasons ago, he can be a real difference maker.
Russell to Rizzo, and they go 1, 2, 3. Cubs 5, Milwaukee nothing after 5.
not know, there are a lot of golf aficionados on this Cubs roster, and heading into the clubhouse this afternoon, a number of them on the couch, feet up on the chair in front of them, checking out the opening day of the Masters. John Lester's actually played Augusta. Ian Happ, we did a really cool feature with him in spring training on the links. But my favorite conversation, Kyle Schwarber this afternoon, talking about number 2 on the leaderboard that you just saw there, of course, having dislocated and relocated the ankle, said, boy, did he look tough doing that. He has never done that, guys. He just wanted you to know, not even during the football days. But he goes, now that Finau has gone out there and had such a great round, he's got to play the rest of the weekend. All the guys are going to be watching that Masters this weekend.
-6, is that -6 wins above replacement? What does that mean, JD?
Yeah, that's what that means. That's it.
Yeah, it was on in the clubhouse. They always have baseball on somewhere in the clubhouse, but a lot of golf this weekend, of course.
Yeah, and if you don't know exactly what Kelly's talking about there, Tony Finau is having a heck of a tournament. They have a par 3 tournament the day before the Masters starts, and he made a hole-in-one, and he was having some fun running down from the tee to the green and was backpedaling, and his ankle, he rolled his ankle, and his ankle popped out, and he pushed it back into place. I didn't even know that was physically possible.
Tough night for Happ, 0 for 4. His 3rd strikeout. Jacob Barnes now working. For Milwaukee, here comes Ben Zobrist. How many aces were there in the par 3?
Jack Nicklaus's grandson made one.
Yeah,
I know that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So at least 2?
Yeah, at least two as far as I know. But, you know, I've seen people that their shoulder will sublux and pop out, and you kind of pop that back in. I've heard of the knee being able to, you know, popping in and out of joint. I've never heard of it with an ankle before. He's so nonchalant about it. He just kind of leans over and goes, you know, pops it back in. So, my goodness.
Sharply hit grounder into right center. Zobrist 2 for 4. Yeah. He has been locked in since day 1.
Yeah, it could be 4 for 4. Consistent, solid contact for Zoe. Saying, don't count me out. I don't want to hear this in decline, been around a long time nonsense. I can still play this game.
There's such an earnest nature about Ben. And we talked in spring training about last year, didn't make any excuses. He just explained, you know, he wasn't totally healthy. They'll get 1. No! Everybody's safe. Perez has made 2 big mistakes on defense tonight.
Part of the scoring in the 2nd inning of that one ball that he was charged with an error, as was Lorenzo Cain, and this is absolutely the right call. Sometimes an umpire will give the middle infielder the benefit of the doubt if there's a catch and a drop on the transfer, but he never had that ball at all. Of course, I've reviewed the video, and they agree with Conroy, the second base umpire. There would be no challenge.
Well, it's Rizzo with 2 men on. So just to finish the point on Zobrist, he had wrist issues last year, which affected him from the right side. And he was on 2 World Series winners, in 15 with Kansas City, 16 with the Cubs. And I think he just needed to hit the reset button. And he has looked terrific here early on in 2018.
Yeah, with Javi Baez now commanding so much of the playing time at second base, the challenge for Joe is going to be to keep Zobrist involved in the mix in the outfield. And Joe likes him in the outfield better than the infield anyway.
Yeah, he's also, I was going to add, he's playing for a manager who probably knows him better than anybody in the game, since they've been together so long, so knows how to use him. Aguilar will get Rizzo. 2nd and 3rd now for Contreras.
Experience the Budweiser bleachers in the left field porch under the video board. The private porch offers a unique view of the game with both sunny and shaded areas. Available in 50 to 100 blocks with unlimited beverages and access 2 hours prior to first pitch. For more information, visit Cubs.com/premier.
Pretty good night for a catcher. 3 reaches, 2 singles, and catching a shutout.
Arms part of a very talented Brewer bullpen. He got a lot of big arms out there. He's a guy that averages 95, 96 with that heater, throws a cutter. Corey Knable's the closer. Josh Hader, the lefty we saw a little bit of last year. He's got electric stuff.
Barnes actually got the save on opening day in San Diego. One strike on Contreras. 6th inning, Cubs lead 5-zip. High drive to center. Kane drifting back. He is at the wall, and he's got it right in front of the 400 marker to end the threat. Near miss by Willie. 5-0 in the 6th. The sausage race is going to last for a long time here in Milwaukee.
Polish pretty much wire to wire here. Flowers almost went down.
It looked like
there might have been an inquiry. There was close. Polish won because Polish was the only one using his or her arms. You know, everybody else is kind of just making sure that their uni didn't fall off.
Strike to Kane. Ooh, like that call. One ball, one strike. And Brewers leadoff man. Two and one.
And that ball in, out, up and down. Very effective tonight. Able to command the outside part of the plate. And just when the hitter starts looking out there, he'll run that pitch up and in on their hands. Kind of like
the
that.
Ground. Yeah. Bryant's got it. Tomorrow on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, Cubs Brewers continuing. Kyle Hendricks will pitch for the Cubs. Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee, and coverage starts at 7. Or you can stream the game live on the NBC Sports app. Santana 0 for 2. Diamondbacks leading at St. Louis 3-1. Top of the 7th. Diamondbacks have won 5 of 6 to start the year and just swept the Dodgers. You know, they've won 9 in a row against the Dodgers dating back to last year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what takes place out west. The Diamondbacks are an ascending team. Patrick Corbin allowed just 1 hit, struck out 12 in that outing yesterday against the Dodgers.
And the Diamondbacks did lose in the playoffs to the Dodgers, but regular season 9 in a row. Mets beat the Nationals 8-2. It was Washington's home opener.
Jay the Bruce broke that one open with a grand slam late.
Red Sox scored 2 in the 9th to tie the Rays, and then 1 in the 12th to win it. Hanley Ramirez, the game-ending hit. Called strike 3.
Streaks were made to be broken, make history, and win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. The second time Santana's been caught looking. Last time it was on a perfectly placed changeup down and away. This time fastball at the knees.
Gabe Kapler pulled Nick Pivetta in the 6th inning today in Philadelphia in their home opener. He got booed for it. It was 3-0 at the time, and the Phillies won the game 5-0.
Yeah, apparently he got booed in pregame introductions. Kapler did. The first-year manager who's made some.
That's rough.
Yeah. So he'll be challenged, right? He has a philosophy, and can't let the critics, whether it be the media or the fans, force you out of your game plan. Now, after a period of time, you may let the results force you into a different line of thinking.
$3-0 on Braun.
Yeah. And it was Aaron Nola on opening day was pitching a really nice game, and Gabe took him out after just 68 pitches, and then the bullpen blew it. So that kind of started the narrative. Had that not happened, the fans probably would not have reacted at all today, pulling Pivetta.
A shot to the corner and left. And that's 2 for Braun. Only their 3rd hit.
Double into the left field corner.
How about that throw?
Yeah. I didn't need to max effort it there. There's going to be a double either way. This may be a function of the night he's having at the plate. Heck with it, I'm just going to let it go.
Oh, 1 on Travis Shaw. Nico Goodrum won the White Sox home opener, 2-run homer. And the ninth to help them tie that game. They scored 3. And then scored twice in the 10th inning to win it. Detroit 9, White Sox 7.
Second win of the year for the Tigers. The Sox are now 3-3.
One ball and 2 strikes on Shaw. Here it is. Strike 3 called. Shaw is out. Brewers done in the 6th. They strand Braun at second base. And we'll head to the 7th inning from Milwaukee. 5-0 Cubs. Kicked out of the game in between innings.
Ron didn't like it out there at second base, but it was Travis Shaw who continued the argument from the dugout that got the thumb from Brian O'Nora.
Tapper foul off the bat of Almora. Barnes in his second inning of work.
So a dangerous bat out of the mix for the Brewers here if they're going to try to mount a comeback in the late innings of this ball game. Well, that's the thing. We talk about how so many times if pitchers are around the plate, they get borderline calls. Well, part of that is because if you hit the spot where the catcher's set up and he can just hold it right there, not have to reach for it, I mean, that's going to present a lot better than if you're reaching back across to the other side. Even if the pitch is on the corner the other way or on the plate the other way and you're reaching across your body or you have to jab at it, obviously it's going to be tougher to get that call. And O'Nora's been pretty generous here tonight, and Lester's smart enough and capable enough to take advantage of that. Really doing a nice job. Last 4 strikeouts recorded by John, all looking.
Barnes home on a 1-2. He struck him out. Almora, who has scored twice, coming up empty this time. So nearing the bottom of the order. John Lester's thrown 89 pitches through 6 innings. I think he's going to continue. Give him one more as they chat. Looks like it.
It's funny how quickly things change. When we were in Cincinnati the other day, Joe was really looking forward to the off day so his bullpen could regroup. Now we've had a rain out plus an off day. Now he's probably looking for opportunities to get guys some work.
Brandon Morrow's thrown, what, 2 pitches in a week? Brandon is to Mike Montgomery's left. I wish Pedro Strop would have some fun out there. Left side grounder, barehanded play, Perez, and the one bounce throw gets him. Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. And a few options early on in the ball game. But this base hit runners at second and third gave the Cubs their first 2 runs. And then Baez was able to upstage himself with the great base running, scoring from first base on a ball that dribbled into center field off the bat of John Lester. You know, it's why this game is so difficult to analyze on a daily basis. We can give you the trends. We can give you what teams have been good or bad at. And one of the narratives here in the first week is the Cubs struggling to get those guys in scoring position, less than 2 outs, until they didn't. That's when Baez came up with the big hit.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we kind of lay out the scenarios of what may or may not happen based on previous results, and then the opposite occurs.
Yeah, it's like buying stocks, right? Past performance is no guarantee of future results. As a matter of fact, for a good club who's been struggling in a certain department, you'd figure the odds would say, well, they're going to pick it up, start to deliver in those situations.
Well, that's actually the jinx effect. When you drop this guy's 0 for his last 36. The law of averages says that's probably going to end pretty quickly. Oh, base hit. How could you say 0 for 36? Well, he's now 1 for 37.
Or 1 for his last 1.
Well, you bring up another thing. The guy goes 0 for 30 and then he goes 4 for 4. Does that mean the next night he's going to go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The whole debate about hot, whether a player's hot or not. So you should you keep putting him in the lineup to ride that hot streak, or you know. And
should you play a cold player who's theoretically due?
Yeah, or do you just trust the matchups? You know, there's certain guys obviously that play every day, but I remember talking to Lance Berkman, and he said, because some guys freak out. I got 3 hits last night, and I wasn't in the lineup the next day, and they're really mad. Lance was like, I'd rather sit over there in the dugout feeling good about my 3 for 3 than have the night off after I took an 0 for.
Baez has walked 3 times tonight. Now twice were intentional. He works a real good walk here. And it will be Kyle Schwarber off the bench for Lester. So John done after 6 innings of work.
Yeah, I think, you know, John had the bat. Joe was talking to him. I think there was a chance he would go back out there, but with the man on base now, and probably was only going to go 1 more inning anyway. So after a rough one on opening day, this, you know, get up the tunnel, get the ice on the shoulder, feeling awfully good about that performance. The big fella.
I have a feeling there's a t-shirt coming. for that quote. Nice hand from the Cub fans in the crowd for Kyle Schwarber.
.61 of his 89 pitches for strikes.
He hasn't done it a ton. Just 2 out of 23 as a pinch hitter. Cubs have had a base runner in every inning tonight.
Just pulled off that one a little bit.
Left-hander Dan Jennings cranking it up in the Brewer bullpen. See the shift they have on against Schwarber. Solid night's work for John Lester. What was his ERA coming in? 8 something?
Yeah.
It's down to 289. Nothing like April numbers. Now it's all over the place. Three and one.
This is a borderline pitch that goes for ball 4. We might see another ejection. And Schwarber demolished a couple 3-1 pitches already this year.
Nice play, Barnes. Stretch time in Milwaukee. 6 shutout innings as the battery embracing.
Game report, also known to many as Wrigley North, because of how many Cubs fans show up here in Milwaukee to root on their Cubs. You can look around all around here, and you know the Brewers tried to do something about this by opening up ticket sales to only Wisconsin residents. That was until mid-February, and Anthony Rizzo heard this story and kind of laughed about it, saying, hey, everywhere we go it's 50-50 nowadays, and I know Illinois fans are going to find a way to get their tickets. He goes, I saw Game 7 of the World Series in Cleveland. I know those weren't easy tickets to get, and it was probably 60-40 Cubs fans to Indians fans that night. So guys, all I know is looking around here, Illinois fans found a way to get their tickets, and they've had plenty to cheer about tonight.
And I would also say, I think there are a lot of Cub fans who live in Wisconsin. They may not be telling their relatives, but yeah, there are a ton of Cub fans here tonight, and they have enjoyed a 5-0 lead here into the 7th as Aguilar whiffs. Strike one. Carl Edwards Jr. first man up out of the bullpen.
Aguilar with 2 of the 3 hits allowed by John Lester tonight. We talked about his good work against left-handed pitching. Now he's got to deal with a tough right-hander. Good breaking pitch from CJ. With the ejection of Shaw, Sogard had to come into the game. VR had already pinch hit, so, and Yelich has got the strained oblique, so limited bench now for Craig Counsell as he tries to mount a comeback.
And Thames and Pena, basically the only 2 guys who are left. Craig Counsell in his 3rd full season as a major league manager. He was from Milwaukee. Played at Notre Dame and then put together a very nice long major league career. Right in the middle of 2 big Game 7 of the World Series rallies. Florida and then Arizona. Baez can't get it. 3-hit night for Aguilar.
Double went to right center. This time he flips a single into shallow right. Tree for tree. Get that cut fastball off the end of the bat.
And Perez has had a rough night defensively. 2 errors at second base. He's now playing 3rd. And high for ball 1. Left-hander Brian Dunsing throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Curve missed outside.
I think it'd be a ground ball pitch for Carly. I think Edwards as a power pitcher, and he is, works a high strikeout rate. But balls in play a lot of times end up on the ground off of Edwards, which is atypical for a lot of guys that throw that riding fastball. This curveball can be a good ground ball pitch for him.
These 2 bullpens have been excellent in the early going.
A chunk of that, the effort by Eddie Butler in that 17-inning ball game. 7 innings, allowed 1 run. Perez rarely walks.
And he struck him out.
It's probably up a little bit, but you figured anything close, Perez was likely to take a whack at it.
Jim Hickey will head out before Arcia bats.
Some talk in spring training of Edwards working on a changeup, and we saw it a little bit in a couple of the exhibition games. I don't know if we'll see much of that from him. This visit obviously buying some time for Steve Cishek to start to get ready.
Arcia struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th. And late on that 4-seamer.
Swing was a little long. He's thinking about doing some damage there. Chris Bryant is fairly deep at third base. Arcia is a capable bunter. I don't know if he would be inclined to try to drop one down here. Is they're near the bottom of their batting order. If he were near the top and he had, Santana and Braun coming up behind them, he might be more inclined to think about, hey, I just got to find a way to get on base here.
Rizzo trying to keep Aguilar honest. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Edwards. 8 strikeouts for Cubs pitching tonight.
He's just not ready there. There's a lot going on with that swing, and if you don't get that started soon enough, there's no way you're going to catch up to that good heater.
Here's Jet Bandy. Eric Thames now on deck in the pitcher's spot. What do you got on an attendance tonight?
Looking around the ballpark.
Maybe low 20s?
I think they're going to announce 32,639.
No way.
Yeah.
Did they already do that?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't.
I think you're way over.
Some have left.
I'll take the under.
You got to give me a plus minus.
I would say it's about 23. 24 maybe. Edwards strikes out the final 3 batters after the leadoff single by Aguilar. Perez, Arcia, and Bandy. Rizzo among the Cubs' current roster, leading the way with 13 home runs here at Miller Park. Generally, guys like hitting here. Certainly a lot better than Old County Stadium, although a lot of the current Cubs never saw a game there.
This is a veteran left-hander, Dan Jennings. Brewers picked him up at the end of spring training. He had been in camp with the Rays. Set him loose. Brewers said, yeah, I'll take the veteran left-hander. He's appeared in 3 games. Maybe a touch below average in terms of velocity. Leans heavily on a slider. This park opened what year?
2001. We would not be so comfortable at the old place. Key difference in terms of the dimensions, the gaps. It's where the balls tend to really fly here. Boy, Ian Hatt needed that. After an 0 for 4 start. A salvage piece in the 8th inning. Leadoff single.
Yeah, good for the mental health there. 0 for 4 with the 3 punch outs. And Joe was talking about him in the strikeouts the other day. He said things will start to turn around when he starts using the other field, stays in the middle of the diamond, and good work there by Hatt doing just that. It just keeps you on the ball a little bit longer. Willing to shoot it the other way, not look to pull.
Pause by Jennings, and the pitch to Zobrist is in there, bottom of the zone strike. Nothing in 2. Got some funk.
If you don't throw hard, it's always good to bring a little funk to the party.
Runner takes off, and Hatt will reach. It'll be a stolen base.
See this very often. Off the catcher, off the shin guard, and bounces all the way out in front of the home plate, and Jennings, the pitcher, comes in and makes the play on it.
I have the Cubs with their 2nd stolen base of the year. Much more aggressive in spring training. Russell has the other. Bounce to third. Perez backed up. Strong throw to first.
Cub fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Members FDIC. This is an era where emphasis has been on the long ball. Analytics tell you that attempting to steal bases can be a little bit of a losing bargain. You're not successful a high percentage of the time.
We definitely like to be at 70% or better, ideally.
Those guys look a lot alike.
Yeah, it still is winter.
Yeah, that's probably not necessary in here, outside for sure, but you know, whatever.
It's not really winter, but it feels like it outside. Maybe there's a vent right above her. Or maybe there's a heat vent right above him. Drilled out into left center. First move was back to the bag. Hatt will try to score, and he's in without a throw. 6-0 Cubs. Bryant picks up his 5th RBI of the year.
He's been swinging it well. See Hatt taking a moment to make sure that ball gets through, gets down, then off he goes.
Career hit number 501 for Bryant. Smothered by Bandy. Things change quickly. Cubs shut out in their last 2 games. They put up a 6th spot tonight. Milwaukee in jeopardy of being shut out for the 2nd consecutive night. They were blanked by the Cardinals last night.
Carlos Martinez, 8 1/3, I believe.
Long look by the lefty. And he'll throw to first.
Pirates beat the Reds 5-2 tonight. Gregory Polanco hit his 2nd home run. He's kind of been everybody's breakout candidate for the last couple of years. This might be the season. He really turns it on.
Swing and a miss. Well, Rizzo is out.
Might be pressing a little bit.
And 0 for 5 tonight. That's Contreras. Twins open up Target Field with a 4-2 win over the Seattle Mariners. Into the corner and left. Contreras with his 3rd hit. Bryant will be stopped at 3rd. It's a double.
Boy, how good has he been tonight? The only time they got him out, he hit that high fastball to the wall in straightaway center field. I mean, he has been absolutely on everything here tonight. Like he's taking BP.
You see what happened to James Paxton, who started that game for the Mariners?
Did see that.
Bald Eagle was supposed to go to the mound before the anthem. Instead, kind of hovered around Paxton and landed on his right shoulder.
Yeah, and he kept his composure. I mean, I want to hand that guy the ball in the postseason. He didn't freak out.
Paxton got a no decision, 5 innings.
Really good against left-handed pitching last year and improved significantly against right-handed pitching in the second half of the season.
Right back to the mound, and Jennings will throw him out. Cubs add to their lead on the RBI hit by Bryant. 6-0 in the 8th.
Well, some heavy lifting to be done here in the 8th inning. It'll be the pinch hitter Thames, and then the top of the order. That duty falls to Steve Cishek, the veteran sidewinder, is pitching for the 3rd time. He's had a nice career and coming off an outstanding season. He split time last year between Seattle and Tampa Bay, posted a very low earned run average.
He got the win on opening day in relief of John Lester. Eric Thames will pinch hit. Off to that great start last year when he returned to the States following a great run in Korea. He hit a club record 11 homers in April last season. Swings away and sends a towering fly to left. Ian Happ will make the grab.
assume Brandon Morrow's got the 9th regardless of the score.
Called strike to Kane. 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the 8th for the Cubs. No runs on just 4 hits for Milwaukee, 3 belonging to Aguilar. Russell throws out Kane. 2 quick outs. Gotta believe Brandon Morrow gets the 9th, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Non-safe
so
spot, likely. Always in the back of your mind with your closer when you use him in a game like this. You think, am I going to have to use him 3 or 4 nights in a row? But yeah, he hasn't pitched very much. Cech makes quick work in the 8th. 6-0 to the 9th. Beverage Depot, John Lester. He wasn't very good on opening day. He was terrific tonight. 6 shutout innings. Looking for his first win of the year.
Yeah, just a beautifully pitched game. He's got a little change up there right on the outside corner. And put the ball down around the knees. And for the most part, elevated when he wanted to. Changed the eye level. It was beautiful, beautiful work by John Lester tonight. Fun to watch.
Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
We're talking about closers needing work. Apparently that's the case for Corey Knebel. Working for the 3rd time this year.
On the way to Russell outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Knebel was an all-star last year. He was the only Brewer to make the all-star team. 39 saves. He pitched in 76 ball games.
Assuming he gets it tonight, Lester will pick up his 160th major league victory. And it's Eddie Butler.
Yeah. There will be no Brandon Morrow tonight.
Fly ball out into deep left center. Braun is there, and he's got it.
Another good swing by Addy, though. 2 hits and a run batted in tonight for Russell. Well, you know, Morrow had the back issue in spring training, so maybe they're just being real cautious. I think obviously there will be conversations between the manager, the pitching coach, and the player. And do you want an inning? Do you feel like you need it? And maybe Brandon's like, hey, I'm good, man. Just use me when you need to use me. And time will tell.
Career high 3 walks taken by Baez, 2 intentional walks. So career high with an asterisk. And he just got hit by a pitch. He's reached all 5 times tonight.
Second time he's been hit on the hand this year. Happened down in Miami.
Appreciate it, and boy, that
no, I don't think there was any intent there on the part of Knebel, but it's always an emotional moment for a guy when he gets drilled with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Jason Hayward just into the lineup on defense in right. Right-handers tomorrow night, Hendricks and Woodruff.
Can Javi steal second base, or is that against the unwritten rules? It's a 6-0 game.
My opinion is he can do whatever he wants, but I don't.
Yeah, I bring it up only because of the controversy with the Twins in Baltimore.
Yeah, there was a bunt against the shift late.
Baltimore was down 7-0. And the kid bunted, the catcher Cisco bunted for a hit, and some of the Twins were pretty worked up about it.
Yeah, the shift has added a new dimension.
Yeah, if you're going to shift, you're not conceding anything. You're still playing your optimum defense. I think he wanted that ball up. Just being the astute analyst that I am, kind of went into Yogi Berra mode back there.
You hated that.
Oh, I did. It created such a weird look.
This will reach the seats.
The thing about the unwritten rules is that they're unwritten, and so everybody has a different perspective on them. What one guy thinks is Bush League or showing me up or running up the score, somebody else thinks it's just playing the game. Not to come down on the side of the team that has a 7-0 lead anyway, right? It's one thing to be offended if you're getting thumped and your sensitivity, you're running a little hot.
Right.
You might react to a situation, but you got a 7-0 lead in a ball game, and the guy bunts for a hit. Who cares?
Right. Jason Hayward today playing on the 8th anniversary of his memorable big league debut when he homered in his first ever at bat against Carlos Zambrano in Atlanta, his hometown.
In front of a bunch of family and friends. What was he, 19, 20 years of age?
He would have been 20. And I mean, he got all of it. Did he get all in that one? On the anniversary. Gone. 8-0.
Happy anniversary. Big fella.
Big fella.
How sweet did that feel?
This is a road game.
Down and through and out.
First of the season, 116th of his career. Two on Happ. Julie Davis enjoying what he's watched tonight. A win tonight would get the Cubs to 3-3. Brewers thought that was strike 3.
Probably was. Knebel was walking off. Andy was popping off, and somebody from the dugout was chirping as well. And you see a pretty compelling case for their argument.
This is the 6th time through the Cubs batting order tonight. And it's been a really good game offensively. And we're in regulation, and leadoff man gets up there 6 times. Tommy LaStella. The pitcher is Cishek, who only needed 4 pitches to get through the 8th.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. The closer is down. Knebel grabbing
big hamstring, I think.
His left leg.
Anytime you see a pitcher like that react on the mound, you immediately think arm, like he blew out a shoulder or elbow. And on a few occasions, we've seen guys actually snap a bone in their arm, but he immediately went to the back of that left leg.
Being helped off the field.
Yeah, he's not put any weight on that thing at all. DL written all over it, and maybe an extended stint.
So Craig Counsell in an 8-0 ball game might use a position player here. I'm wondering. See if he gets somebody up in the bullpen here to get the final out.
Aguilar just flipped his first baseman's mitt.
I think he's going to pitch.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out. 8-0 Cubs in the 9th. We'll be right back. Aguilar to third. Manny Pena will play first, and Hernan Perez will make his second career appearance on the mound. A scoreless inning last year. 13th time in Brewers history they've used a position player to pitch. And with the way bullpenning is going in the big leagues, I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Fly ball the other way. Braun runs it down. So Perez gets La Stella. Hayward took Knebel deep before the Brewers closer in a non-save spot injured himself. 8-0. 3 outs to go. Tonight, as it's been for the Brewers, well, they got to wonder how long they're going to be without their all-star closer. Eddie Butler took one of the toughest losses you'll ever hear about. He went 7 innings, a career high, in relief, all in extras, on Friday in Miami. And they took the loss, and the game-winning run scored after he was out of the game.
Yeah, that was tough pill to swallow. He really pitched beautifully, and then obviously high leverage situation on the road. One swing in the bat can beat you, and continued to string zeros. He was absolutely gassed.
Yeah, he said all he had, he didn't have anything. Just kept throwing fastballs. Worked out. Strike to Ryan Braun. So Butler tries to preserve the shutout. Braun, Sogard, and Aguilar. Still have not heard an attendance, JD. I want to see if you are right. Many have left with the score lopsided here late.
Good 0-2 pitch, strike to ball, breaking pitch. A lot of guys would chase. Braun better than most.
Swing and a miss for the first out.
A piece of cheese by him. Braun late, he's protecting. He doesn't want to get fooled by the breaking pitch. By the time he pulls the trigger on the fastball, it's too late. The 10th strikeout recorded by the Cubs staff here tonight.
Here's Eric Sogard, left-handed hitting second baseman. Fastball strike.
And with that 10th strikeout, all Cub fans on their way to Chicago tonight will be able to stop by the Mars Cheese House and get some cheese curd.
Are they
Cheese
open
Castle,
late?
yeah. The house is a little bungalow just off to the side of the castle. Nowhere near as famous.
Have you had any cheese from the castle?
I
haven't.
Well, I've
great.
never stopped at the castle for cheese. I've probably had castle cheese in the past. Speaking of castle cheese, you know you cannot say dilly dilly in the crowd at the Masters. If you do, you know that commercial, the Budweiser, dilly dilly, if you say that at the Masters, you'll be ejected.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you've been to the Bong Rec area off I-94, but I don't know if we want to go there.
What is that?
You'll see the sign. Line drive. Ian Happ will make the catch.
That was an ace of base, I think. I saw the sign. He's still waiting for the beer.
It's actually a state recreation area, like a campground, named after Richard Bong. But it's the Bong Rec area sign. And a lot of people watching, I'm sure, have passed that sign. That's at 340. Off the highway. 1-0 on Aguilar. Two outs, ninth inning. The pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. Cubs pitching, looking for their first shutout. 4 hits, 3 belong to the guy at the plate. Big night for Baez from the 8th spot. 2-run single. Be a game winner. 3 walks, hit by pitch, 2 runs, 5 reaches. Swing and a miss. Cubs win. 8-0 the final score. Just what the doctor ordered after a couple of off days following the Cubs being shut out in back-to-back games.
Yeah, everybody can exhale now, relax a little bit. Just kind of worked up about the start to the season. A good all-around game here tonight. Cubs bang out 13 hits, score 8 runs. Errorless baseball in the field, and outstanding work by Lester and then the bullpen.
And this is the second consecutive night in which the Brewers have not scored a run and have committed 3 errors. So the defense was a little leaky tonight, but they could not get anything going against John Lester and company with the bats.